Yeah.
Still we have 1 minute, right? It's live on the screen.
You can see me, right? Hey, good evening, everyone. Hi, my name is Hitesh. I represent Center. Hope I'm audible to all of you. I guess we are good to go. Okay, a warm welcome to all educators joining us today. On behalf of Center, we are delighted to have you with us for another insightful session in our ongoing Center webinar series for teachers, a space where passionate educators come together to learn, reflect, and grow professionally. Right? We are proud to share that we recently celebrated our 300 Centaur talk. It was a long journey from 0 to 300. The number looks pretty big, but we made it. Now today we are pretty happy for our next milestone, that is 311th Centaurs. Your presence and participation continues to inspire us to build a stronger and more empowered teaching community, right? This evening session addresses a deeply important and timely topic that affects every educator regarding their own experience and roles, right? So, empowering educators, practical strategies for effective curriculum delivery and classroom management. Now, it's our pleasure to introduce our facilitator for the transformation session, Ms. Kaushki Moitro. Hi, Ms. Kaushki. Can you hear us?
Good evening. Yes,
Good evening. How are you doing, ma'am, today?
I'm doing good, Ritesh. Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me just introduce our ho- facilitator today. We are delighted to welcome Ms. Kaushki Moitroy, Head of Department Academics at Fast Schools, to today's webinar. With over 15 years of experience in academic operations, teacher training, and curriculum implementation, Ms. Kaushki has made a significant contribution to leading institute, including Greenwood High International School, Bangalore. She's also a certified Cambridge International educator. She specializes in exceptional activity based learning, teacher capacity building, and enhancing classroom practice across CBSE and IGCSE standards. As a professional trainer and EdTech driven curriculum specialist, her expertise in designing impactful learning experiences and forecasting instrumental excellence makes her an invaluable guide for educators. We also request our participant to share your queries or insights throughout the session, and the participation in polls, which are generally open only for 30 seconds. Now back to the session. Welcome, Kaushki ma'am, once again. Over to you.
Thank you, Hitesh. A very good evening to everyone. Hope I am audible to you. So, today's topic is for the educators, for the teachers, which the topic which we deal every day into our day to day life of a teacher. That is the lesson plan. How practically, how strategically we can make a lesson plan so that when we are teaching in the class, it has an impact on the student. So, the topic is practical strategies for effective curriculum delivery and classroom management. These are two different things, but at the same time, they are interdependent, the lesson plan and the classroom management. So, in today's session, very quickly, we will go through these two topics. So, Today's ABC: discover practical strategies for effective curriculum delivery. When I say curriculum delivery, I mean the syllabus which you are teaching in the class. You're delivering the curriculum. So how effectively you are able to deliver in the class, how effectively your students are able to understand what you are teaching, how the method which you are following, is it giving any impact on the student, are they able to understand or not? We will be able to do that only if it is strategically planned. Okay, now the B is master techniques for classroom management. C, create engaging and inclusive learning environment. These A, B, C of a classroom is very, very important. We need to understand that when we go in the class to teach, it's not only the lesson plan, it's not only the curriculum which we have to go and deliver over there. That's not the only job of a teacher. We cannot teach effectively unless and until the class is managed properly, the discipline of the class. So, that is also a very important key point. Master technique for classroom management. The classroom management helps 40% of your lesson plan's delivery. If we go in various research which has been done, it says that if a class is not managed properly, how effective your lesson plan is, how nicely it is designed, you won't be able to deliver it properly. Next, in the class, we have different set of students. As we all know, all the students, if we have a class of 25 students, everyone will not have the same level of intelligence. Everyone has their own pace of learning. And as a teacher, we have to cater all these categories. We have to understand and deliver our lesson in such a way. We have to understand and plan our lesson in such a way that we everyone in the class is beneficial from what we are teaching. So that is what we call that inclusive learning environment. Let us go more deep and understand each and every point more clearly. Uh, Before I start, let us divide the agenda, and agenda wise, we will go further. The first agenda over here is strategic lesson planning, which is very, very important. As a teacher, we should be clear about the lesson, what we are planning in the lesson, what we want to deliver. You suppose, for an example, if you're teaching grade 2 a topic plant, as an adult, as a teacher from a science background, you will be feeling that, oh, that's a very easy topic. I can go and just teach it. What is wrong in that? Talking about plants, I have been doing it since long. Let me just go and talk about it. But no, that's not the method. We have to have a plan with us. We have to have a strategy with us. How do we introduce that? How we can introduce that with an activity? Different steps. How can we introduce, how can we take the inputs from the student, how can we understand that students are able to understand or not what we are teaching? All these strategies should be there, because end of the class, end of the lesson, end of the topic, your aim should be maximum number of students are able to understand what you have taught, and that can only be achieved if we have a strategy in place. And as we all know, any kind of learning will have more impact if we involve activities. If the students are doing it, if they are able to use their gross motor skills, if they are able to do it and learn it, it will give them more impact than just an audiovisual learner. If you go to the class and start giving a lecture on some particular topic, suppose you are teaching circuits, you go and start talking about negative, positive, battery, switch, confused. You are clear in your mind, but the students, they're listening it, they're hearing it for the first time. Will they able to understand? You show a video. Yes, they are able to understand what you said and what they are seeing in the video. But at the same time, if we make them give an activity, give some wire, battery, and ask them to make a circuit, that's where they learn more effectively. That's the reason we encourage activity based learning, that is exponential learning. And as I said, the third point, the third major point of this webinar is the classroom management. How well you are able to manage the class, that's what it shows. A teacher's capability starts from there, how well you are able to manage the class. Is your student ready to learn? If they are not ready to learn, they are just like a wall. You keep throwing things on that, it will bounce back. Before you start a class, before you start teaching, you have to make sure that you are making your students active, learning, ready to learn. And that's a responsibility of the teacher. And especially this is for the primary years and middle school, then high school. See, as a teacher, we have to make them ready to learn, but the strategies changes. We cannot use the same strategy in primary years, middle year, and high school. No. All these 3 years, they will have a different strategies, but the agenda remains the same, the classroom management, the foundation. Let's go further. Why effective curriculum and management matter? I can teach anything in the class. I can just go and talk about anything and everything. If I see in grade 6, some certain topics are there, I can just go and talk about it. Yes, I'm just giving knowledge. Does it work like that? Absolutely no. There has to be an effective curriculum behind it. So when we plan a year, the curriculum is planned for the whole year. Then it is divided into long term, like the term wise. Term 1, certain portions will be completed. Term 2, certain portion. And then it is divided again short term, then week wise, then day wise. Like this, we are micromanaging the curriculum. And that's how the effectiveness of the curriculum plays the main role. Strong classroom management boosts students' achievement. Engage, excuse me, engaged classrooms show high learning outcome. Structured environments increase students' motivation and teachers' satisfaction. The right system empower all the students to succeed. When I talk about it, when I am just talking about classroom management, manage your class, what exactly I want to say? A very simple thing. As a teacher, when we enter the class, we expect our students to greet us, right? At that point of time, that is the best time you connect with your student. You have to greet the student, you have to create the positive environment in the classroom the moment you enter. You have to enter with a positive tone. Greet your students with a positive tone. They feel connected. You can have a friendly conversation with some of the students just to engage that yes, now we are in the class, the teacher is in the class. But This all these things should be in a positive note. You cannot just enter the class and in a uh, negative way, why the class is making so much of noise, keep quiet, sit down. This tone, you cannot enter the class. That's a very negative aura you will be carrying forward, and your lesson henceforth will be very very shabby, and the students won't be connected. So always start your class with a positive note, positive tone. And not only the voice, the body language also matters. Dear teachers, let me tell you, you are the one who is being observed by each and every student very minutely. What you say, how you walk, what you are wearing, how you are talking that particular day. Are you feeling okay or not? Everything is being observed and monitored by your students. So, yes, it is a very tough job, but as a teacher, we have to be very, very particular when we enter that class. We have a positive attitude that is in our tone, the voice, as well as in our body language. If we don't show them that, yes, we are ready to learn, it's like communicable disease. Not disease is the wrong word, it's like communicable. You are transforming that positive energy to them. That's how you start the class. Now, when you are in the class, you have to set certain rules. Again, the way I said before, the rules, the way you are setting your rules will be different from primary years, middle years, and high school. uh, at places you can just stand still and put your finger on your lips, just a reminder to them, okay, now the teacher is in the class, we need to be quiet because the lesson is about to start. Or some gesture or some visual aids you can show them, which will help them to get a reminder that, okay, this means I have to go back to the go back to my place and get ready, teacher is here. I remember watching one of my pre-primary teacher. What she used to do is she used to keep a bell with her. The moment she used to enter the class and after greeting the students, and she used to feel the class is going noisy, they are not attentive enough, they are talking, she used to ring the bell in place of shouting, screaming, or taking any name, cold calling, and sit down, don't do this, nothing. She used to take the bell and ring. That's a reminder for those LKG, UKG students that yes, this is that means I have to be quiet, I have to go back to my place and get ready to listen to ma'am. These are different strategies. Every teacher can have their own strategy. There is no hard and fast rule that these are the particular things that only I have to follow. At times student gets very very hyperactive. They are very engrossed in talking, and they are not in a mood to learn. At that point of time, you have to form certain rules. You can use your auditory ways of conveying your rules. You can just say it loud and clear what exactly you want, you're expecting your students to do at that certain point of time. So yes, these are few strategies which we can follow in the class to make sure that we are able to impart a good strong classroom management. Before I go to the next slide, one very important part which adds a very positive note in the classroom management is the optimized classroom sitting. Believe me, a welcoming space can reduce anxiety and boost academic performance. If a child is happy to be seated where he is, he will learn uh, faster than where if he feels that that is not the place where he should be sitting. So, a welcoming space can reduce their anxiety, it can boost their academic performance. So, as a teacher, this is our responsibility to arrange the class accordingly. At the same time, if we allow the kids to sit wherever they want, they definitely will go and sit with their friends and they will be engrossed in talking to each other, and which will reduce their attention span. So, as a teacher, we need to take this responsibility and make sure that the space, the arrangement is such where the kids are happy to be, welcome to be. Yes? Okay. And a very important thing in the classroom management is do not say don't. It's you cannot say don't talk, don't do this, don't do that. You have to avoid using the word do not, because students specifically in today's generation are more likely to listen instruction that includes clear reasons. We can say, if you feel your class is talking, they are very noisy, in place of say do not talk, you can just start the topic. Suppose you are teaching a topic community helper and you are about to talk about traffic police. Just start the traffic. You know, students, what happened. Raise your voice in such a way that you are grabbing their attention in place of shouting and saying, do not talk. A funny thing happened today. While I was coming to school, the traffic police. Wait a minute, do you think traffic police are one of the community helpers? There are different ways. That's what I said in the beginning. There is no hard and fast rule. It's on the teacher how you grab their attention. But at the same time, use these basic guidelines to manage your class. And one of it is do not say do not. Tell them the instruction, tell them the things which you want them to do at that point of time. That will grab their attention. If you say do not, funny part is, even if as an adult we also don't like to hear do not do that, do not do this. No, always tell them what they are supposed to do, what they should do. And if you feel your students are following your instruction, do not miss the moment to praise them at that point, on the spot. Wow, wonderful, Rohan. That's very good. Guys, can you see how quickly Rohan arranged his table? Works wonder. Any age group. It can be primary, middle, high school. If you praise the student, it works wonder. Please inculcate these classroom management techniques in your classroom to have more strong and effective class. So let us go to the next one. And after you are manage the class, the lesson plan. Again, very important part, the most important part, because this plays the 65% of the whole thing. The class is managed, the students are ready to learn. Now, how strategically you have planned your lesson, that will help your students to learn in a better way. To do any kind of lesson planning, you have to have the background knowledge about it, how you are designing it, what are the topics you have to include. So let us go to the minor part of it, micromanaging it, to the day plan. On this particular day, I want to teach a particular topic. Now, Let's go back to the topic states of matter. With my examples, you can make out that yes, in my career, I have been a science teacher. So the examples which are popping up is all science topics. Okay, so let us take the example of states of matter. Day one, I'm in the class. I cannot start the class just like that. States of matter, three, there are three states of matter. No. For the particular day, I should have a learning outcome. And this learning outcome, as a teacher, I should be very clear about it. It should be small, crisp, so that that 40 minutes or 45 minutes, whatever we get, the students are able to understand that. So you have to begin your class with a clear learning outcome. What students will understand or learn in that particular period, in that particular lesson. Now, evidence of learning. You have to describe the evidence of learning. And based on the evidence of learning, your activities should be planned. Yes? Now, you have to align the task with the objectives for clarity and focus. It cannot be a different activity and the learning outcome is something else. Both should be aligned. Background backward design ensure every lesson leads to meaningful result. Hope I am clear till now. So, before I go further, I would like you all to answer this poll. I would request Hitesh to come forward and post the poll question.
Uh, Thank you so much, ma'am. That was brilliant. The first session was absolutely rocking. In fact, so much of information for the audience and the viewers. Now, hope everybody felt this was quite informative. Just type in yes if you're there, aligned with the same. We're going to start our polls now. The polls are going to be on your screen, and you get 30 seconds to answer them. So I would request maximum viewers to participate in this and just throw your answers. So we'll just count for 30 seconds and they are good to go. I think, ma'am, you gave some brilliant examples of, the classroom sitting arrangement where, you're not supposed to sit with your buddy so that, that draws your attention from the lesson and the classroom and you're completely diverted. And it becomes really difficult to get back yourself to the same classroom mode. It reminds me of my school days. So nostalgic. I mean, you actually started giving a very real life examples. I think that is what is able to connect you with the audience much better.
Thank you. Thank you. I hope my audience are able to connect with me the way you are able to, Ritesh.
Yeah. Hope you're liking the session. Just type in yes or thumbs up would do. Lovely. I can see a lot of people thumbs up. Great. So, when planning lessons, what do you prioritize the most? So, designing activity for engagement, aligning objective with assessment, covering syllabus content quickly, integrate technology into delivery. So I feel 52% have selected option A, 27% of the audience have selected answer B, 11% have said answer C, and 8% have said answer D.
That's wonderful. Yes, we have to prioritize the covering syllabus content quickly. Yes, as a teacher, it is our responsibility to make sure that whatever topics are there in the curriculum, we are able to manage to complete before the before the completion of the year. Yes, that's the priority we are giving, but at the same time, we have to remember that we have to impart a very effective lesson plan. So designing activity for engagement, these are all integrated part. Correct. Very good. I am very happy to see the report over here. Thank you so much. So moving forward, as we say that we all smartness, the student is very smart. That's a smart answer. So, like this, we keep talking about the word smart. Now, let us take this word and implement our learning objective, which is the main part when we are planning a lesson. When we plan a lesson, our learning objective is the most important part, right? We should know what we are teaching. The learning objective can be, when we are planning your learning objective, it should be smart, like you want your students to be smart. Yes, this is the smart learning objective. The learning objective should be very, very specific. Today, if the topic which I took was the states of matter, the beginning of the class, I will be talking about the arrangements of molecule in different states of matter. Or we are talking about the molecular structure in different states of matter. So my learning objective should be exactly very specific. Students will be able to describe the position of molecules in each states of matter, solid, liquid, gas. So exactly we need to have a very specific learning objective. It should be measurable, achievable. That is another very important. We just cannot have a have a learning objective and a vast one which I am not able to conclude within 45 minutes of my class time. It should be achievable. It should be relevant. If states of matter I am teaching in grade 3, it should be relevant to that. If I'm taking the same topic, as we know, most of the topics in our curriculum are spiral. What they are learning in grade 3 will learn in grade 5 and grade 7, grade 9, and so on. So when I'm teaching the same topic in grade 5, the level will be higher. So it should be relevant for that particular grade. And the last one is the time bound. We have to understand that whatever we have planned, it should be completed in that particular given time period. It cannot exceed that. Now, when I say specific, while planning any lesson, be it a math, English, or in that case, if you're planning a physical education lesson, a PE teacher taking the students to the ground to learn dribbling in basketball, even that should have a proper learning objective. They cannot, the PE teacher cannot teach whole basketball lesson, all the techniques in day one. He should have a very specific learning objective over there. This is the particular drill I will be doing with the students. The class starts with a warm up, then the drill, then the cool down, whatever they are planning. So the learning objective should be very, very specific. Doesn't matter which subject you are teaching. You can be teaching Indian music, you can be taking a class of English, Hindi, anything. Learning objective needs to be very, very specific. Now, based on your learning objective, when you, it should be measurable. How impactful was your lesson? It should be measurable in terms of your learning objective. Again, it should be achievable. Now I have planned my lesson and I have inculcated different activities. My lesson is for 45 minutes. I have inculcated around 4 activities in that. Will I be able to achieve that? No, it is not practically possible. Where I have to be taking, I have to be pay attention to each and every student. Understand, when you are imparting your lesson, when you are teaching in the classroom management, which we discussed just before, is playing a great role over there. You are not only teacher. Please remember, teachers can do multitasking better than everyone on this earth. Yes. Do you agree with me? I just want a thumbs up in the comment section. Yes. When you are in the class, you are teaching, you're just not teaching over there. You're managing the class. You are making sure that your class is ready to learn. There are 25 to 30 different students sitting in front of you, have different behavior, have different learning capacity. They are in a different mood at that point of time. Everything you are managing and making sure that they are ready to learn with you. Then you are teaching, then your subject knowledge comes in action. Managing everything and taking a very unachievable learning objective won't work. So it should be achievable. Next come, it should be very, very relevant. Relevant with the topic, your activities, your worksheet, your assignment, everything should be aligned and it should be very, very relevant with the learning objectives. And comes the time bond. As you all know, that as you have only clicked, uh, as you have only clicked that covering syllabus is the most important part which you focus. Yes, time is the major factor we have to take care of. So yes, time bond is very, very important. Let's move further. Now, when you plan your lesson, 5E model comes in place. Yes, again, before I move further, a reminder, a big clap for all the teachers present over here. You can pat your back and you can congratulate yourself to being a teacher and doing a wonderful job. Believe me, guys, this is a thankless job, and only a teacher can understand how much work you go through every day, how much workload you are going through, and this is marvelous. And I'm sure each and every one of you are doing a wonderful job. Right from our job is not only in the classroom going and teaching. Before entering the classroom, we have to do so much of planning. Even to plan a simple lesson also, we have to make sure there are so many criterias which we have to follow. Now, when you plan a lesson, the best thing, what comes in your mind first? Yes, I understood that you said that covering the syllabus, but as a teacher, you must be thinking how effective I can make my lesson. Every teacher's aim is to make sure that it reaches maximum number of students. Maximum number of students are able to understand what you are teaching at that particular point of in that particular class. There comes this 5E model. It starts with engage, explore, explain, elaborate. Yes? Okay. And any lesson is not complete unless and until you evaluate them. Quickly open your chat box and tell me which E is your favorite one, or which E you concentrate more while planning your lesson. These all five E's are equally important. But according to you, as a teacher, which E you give the more priority? Please open your chat box and write about that E. Wonderful. Yes. Engage is the most, sorry. Yes, engage is the most important one. Most of you are writing. Yes, the classroom should be engaging. And we just cannot engage the class just like that. Okay, let's sing a song together while going and teaching a math lesson. We cannot just do. And it can be. We can learn numbers through a song. But at the same time, it should be relevant with the learning objective. Yes, spark curiosity with a question or demonstration. That's what we have to do. The moment you enter the class, we have to start with a positive note. I said that in the beginning. And we have to start with some question where you spark the curiosity in the student. So, what are we going to learn today? Some question. Have you ever wondered why water is flowing from one glass to the another? They will come up with their answer. Remember what I said, students are very good in observation. They observe, they have the curiosity. Yes, curiosity is the master of knowledge. Explore, encourage hands on and means hands on activity. They do it, they learn it. You give them the wire, you give them the battery, you give them a bulb and ask them, okay, make sure that you lit the bulb. They will do something, they will join the wires, they will figure out which is the positive and which is the negative and how to join the wire. And yes, they learn. And after doing that, if you are explaining them, okay, now this is the battery, it has a positive side, it has a negative side, and hence further the circuit is completed, the electricity is flowing, it will be easy for them to understand exactly what you are teaching. Now, so what you did, you engaged them. You sparked the curiosity. You gave them an activity. You gave them some hands on to do. And after that, you are explaining them what, giving them the instruction. And while giving the instruction, it should be very, very direct one, which should clarify the concept. Direct instruction, tuck, tuck, tuck. The definition, where if you're teaching science, the definition comes in play over here. If you're teaching English, you have to be using your own way. So all these concepts and everything, direct instruction should be given in your explanation. Now, once they have understood, once you have explained, now come elaborate, means over their implementation of the knowledge. What they have learned, the topic they understood, how well they are able to implement that knowledge in a new situation. As you have, as you, most of you must be following, the CBSE is changing the way of taking exams, way of taking tests. Here also in the question paper, they are saying that most of the application based question will come, where you have to apply your knowledge. It won't be the definition, whatever I have learned, I have to go and write over there. No. It will be all application based question where you have to apply your knowledge. And here comes this E in action. Elaborate. Apply understanding to new situation. And once we are done with all our four E's, the master one, the fifth E comes in place, the evaluate. We have to evaluate whether the child is able to understand what we have taught. You have to assess. And it will be always good if you have a small assessment after every lesson. The assessment is not like give a paper, pen and paper, and they have to write. It can be in form of a quiz. It can be in a form of a group discussion. It can be a form of a cold calling. You take a name and say, okay, Ram, you tell me what is the answer of this. Anything it can be, but there has to be a small evaluation, small kind of assessment at the end of the lesson, which will help the teacher to understand that whatever you have taught in that particular lesson, your students are aligned with you or not. Did they able to understand what you said? That is very, very important. And based on that observation, plan your next lesson. I have taught this, my student have understand this particular topic. Now based on this, the next lesson will be planned. Because when we start a lesson, we take a prior knowledge check, how much the student know about that particular topic, right? The KWL chart. So evaluation, the small assessment by end of the class, that's FA, formative assessment, will help you to understand how effective was your class. So I will take a small break here. Another poll question is coming up. I would request Ritesh to come up with the next question.
Hi. I must say, I think the audience also will agree with it. Amazing, amazing confidence level of Kaushiki ma'am and her ability to, keep the audience engaged. I can see close to 400 people over here who are stuck to the screen, watching you, learning from you, admiring your skills and the way you actually taken over the entire session. That's something kudos to you. And we are ready for our next poll. Audience will get 30 seconds. The poll starts now. Good to go. Audience, just type in yes if you agree with me that Kaushiki ma'am has amazing delivery act. Basically, the way she explained you the things, the way she was able to connect with you. Just type in yes quickly. Come on. Yeah. Thank you, Miss Jyoti. Oh wow, that's quite huge. I mean, look at your fan following, ma'am. I mean, they're truly, truly impressed by the way how you're taking this entire session. I think it's very informative and it's quite motivating for people also.
Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure is mine.
Me as a backbencher, I'm stuck to my screen, listening everything so carefully, making a notes of it. So I think that says it all. Okay. So okay, which classroom management challenges do you face most often? Maintaining students' attention. Quite interesting. Maintaining student attention, 37%. Handling diverse learning needs, 29%. Time management during lessons, 17%. Ensuring consistent discipline, 14%. Now, this is quite tricky.
Yes. Thank you, Vitesh. Yes, with the poll result, we can understand that Whatever points I have mentioned in the poll, maintaining student attention, handling diverse learning needs, time management during lesson, ensuring consistent discipline. Yes, these are all the four major challenge we face in the class. I just wanted to see this, how you as a teacher, you will come up with it, like choosing any one of it, because all four of these are very very challenging as a teacher. As I mentioned before, that yes, we have to do multitasking in the class. It is not that easy. And here is an example of that. These are the four major challenges as a teacher we face in the class. So it's not only we are taking a lesson, imparting a lesson. Challenge which we are, which is going background, that is also important. I am a very good teacher. I know everything what is there in my subject. My subject knowledge is top notch. My room management is not up to the bar. Where will I be able to give a nice take a effective class, effective lesson? No, unfortunately not. We have to do this multitasking in the class. So okay, let's move forward. So, the few very, very important thing when we talk about the lesson plan is the uh, activity based learning. We remember, you must have heard, as a teacher you must have heard about this. We do and we learn more and we able to remember it for a longer time. So when you plan a lesson, remember to do any kind of activity. It can be interpersonal activity or it can be intrapersonal activity, but in the activity, make sure that you are planning an activity in the class. It can be a very short and crisp also, it can take the whole period also, depends on the teacher's planning. But there has to be one activity where the students are engaged in doing something, investigating something. Okay, they are investigating, they are finding out the answer by themselves, then the teacher telling the answer to them. So if they get the answer by themselves and then you explain the topic, it will be more effective. So, and as a teacher, when you are giving any kind of project, any kind of assignments, we have to make sure that in the project based learning, the topics, the investigations should be real life problem. Any subject we take, we can relate to the real life problems. So give them the topics which are based on real life. This can be done in the class. Now, choose a topic from the curriculum, from the term, where you can take your students outdoor, visit a field or go somewhere nearby. Not much also, if you go out of the classroom, take them to the garden to understand different type and sizes of the leaf. Very simple. Take them to the garden, talking about living and non-living thing. Ask them to observe and write down what are the 5 living things they saw, what are the 5 non-living things they saw. Anything. But yes, we have to take them out of that class for a certain period of time to explore the world around. It doesn't have to be a field trip every time. It can be, if you are taking primary grades, it can be a visit to the lab as well. Because middle school and high school, they have it in their curriculum that they do visit in the lab, they have practicals. But in primary, yes, they don't often visit to the lab. So these kind of experiential learning are very, very important. As I was talking about, if you're talking a lesson in history, take a small clip from there, do a role play in the class. If you're teaching them about first aid, do a role play in the class. When they are learning through doing, They will remember it for a longer period of time. And as I said, it can be a intrapersonal learning, it can be a interpersonal learning, right? So peer discussion, teamwork, yes, that enhance their learning. And when I talk about project based learning, so it includes like deep inquiry, teamwork, and reflection to the core. Project based learning builds critical thinking and skill for life. Student design solution to authentic challenges like building ecosystem model, anything. Yes, I will give you one more example. Like in maths, if you're talking about money, sit in the class, show them the money, show them a PPT, addition of money, subtraction of money, give them word problem, done, 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 done. But yes, they will learn certain things over here. But at the same time, in the class, arrange a live market. Just say, okay, you get some vegetables from home, like a potato or something like that. You get some stationery, you get something. They all are ready with their shops. Now give them paper money, right? On a piece of paper, write the amount, and yes, now they have to deal certain and few half of the class is acting like a shopkeeper, half of the class will acting like customers. The customers will go and buy products. That's how the real hand experience they will learn how to take money, how to give the change to them, and they will understand, okay, I have 100 rupees, what are the things I want to buy, how much money I will get back, everything. Even we can ask them, okay, prepare a bill and give it to your customer. These all are the hands on experience which we are giving to the students. This is how we are going to help them in learning. And when you are doing all this, very, very important is setting the rules in the class. Whenever you are inculcating activities in your classroom, it is always very important your class management. And here comes the rules which you are making sure that your students are able to follow. Now, you cannot go and say, these are the following rules you have to follow. Take the help of the student. Ask them, create their own classroom rules. If they create their rule, they will follow it more better than if you are giving them instruction. Use your softboard, display the rules over there, right? And please, the way you will respect your students, the students will respect you, the students will respect each other. End of the day, we will not forget that respect is something which we as a human being, we have to give to the fellow human being. So everything should be positively framed and very respectful language should be used. And once you set the rule, it is display on the softboard, done. No, it's not done. Teachers, you have to constantly remind them about the rules. This is what we will follow. Yes, this is our job. So this is how we will be able to achieve what we have planned. As a teacher, our job is to teach in an environment which is learning. And that environment, it is our job is to only create that environment. Hence, lesson planning and classroom management. These are not two different things. They go hand on hand. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you have uh, understood some a part of my webinar today. So before I end it, I would like you all to open the chat box and please write what is your takeaway from today's webinar. One takeaway from you from this session. Thank you so much. I am very glad that you liked it. So one takeaway. Okay, Jyoti says 5 E's, 5E model, hands-on learning, interactive. Yes, classroom management. I am inspired by your patience. As a teacher, I am very sure we all are blessed with it. Eventually, throughout our learning process, throughout our experience, we gain more patience. Yes, yes. Thank you so much. That is so wonderful to see your feedback. I can see maximum of you are writing the 5E model, and I expect you to inculcate that in your lesson plan to make it more effective. Thank you so much. Thank you, Ritesh, for having me.
Uh, what do I say? I mean, that was absolutely brilliant. I mean, it was absolutely a pleasure and honor to have you with us today. I think most of us will agree to the same. And before we wrap up, again, a big kudos and congratulations to ma'am for taking this session. It was really very informative and fabulous session. I think eye opener
Thank
to all the educators who are actually inspired by you today. And this one is for all the audience. Uh, do not forget to log into our Centa app and don't miss out to get your certificates, participation certificates. And I'll just guide you on how to, get the certificate from the Centa app. Uh, just click on the submit button. Then you'll get a feedback form, and you just have to fill in the details. And the code is 7115. I repeat, the code is 7115. So you have invested your time here. You have been a part of this session. So why don't you make the most use of it? Just go download the app, get your participation certificate, and make the most use of it. Thank you so much. This is your host Hitesh Vardhaman signing off for the day. Have a great evening, everyone. It was lovely having you here.